Hey guys, I'm Alistair from Trail and Kale, and today I'm reviewing this very cool little bike from Aventon, and it is called the Sinch. And that's for a reason, because it's supposed to be just this really fun, easy bike to ride. So this electric bike, I think you'll agree, really doesn't look like any other bike out there. It looks really cool. The frame of it just looks really unique. And what's especially cool about this bike is the fact you can fold it. You can fold it at this point in the middle of a bike, on the handlebars, even the pedals. So I'll demonstrate all that in a minute. So really quickly, I'm just going to go over some of the very obvious features that you should know before I go on with the review. So the top speed of the bike is 20 miles per hour, which is pretty quick. There is a throttle on here, so you can just push that throttle and you can go off and you'll be away. It's also got 5 levels of pedal assist, so that kind of makes your pedaling easier when you're going up hills, or if you just want to go faster and you're tired, you need that extra assist. There's also 7 manual gears on this, so you can use the gears in conjunction with the 5 levels of electric motor assist to get all kinds of fun out of this bike if you're going uphill, or like I said, you just need the extra hand. Now, distance wise, the Sinch electric bike will go up to around 40 miles. That does depend on what kind of terrain you're riding. If you're going up hills, also depends on your weight. If you're heavier, then it's going to go slightly less distance. So you've got to think about those things. But on average, with Aventon's tests, it's about 40 miles. So who is this bike going to be for? Well, I think it's for anyone who wants a little bit of fun. Whether you're a commuter or you want to take this bike off-road on grass, on light trails, there is front suspension forks here, so you can totally take this on pretty much any terrain. There's also these cute little fat tires with tread that kind of extends around the edge of the wheels, so you know you're going to get great grip on things like gravel, or if you're cornering, you've got this tread here to keep you on track and stop you from slipping. But it's also a foldable bike, so this is great for anyone who might be van lifing and they need some way to get around when they park their van or anything like that, because you can just pack it up and stick it in your van or car. It's also great if you don't have much storage at home, because you can fold it up and you can find a space. You can find a cupboard, find a little bit of space in your garage as well. There's all sorts of possibilities that this bike is going to be useful for. Really quickly then, what is the bike like for riding? Before I get into the features, it's super fun. It's an interesting kind of riding style, because you'll notice that this handlebar stem is very upright, so it's quite unusual. You do feel a little bit over the front wheel there, but I like to ride these e-bikes with throttles on, kind of more relaxed, kind of like Harley Davidson style, so I put the saddle down a little bit lower. And that puts me away from being over the top of the stem, and it's really a comfortable ride. I can just kind of relax on this thing, and the fat tires with suspension on the front mean that it's very fun just to ride over bumps or, you know, off curbs, anything you kind of want to take this thing on. It feels comfortable. There isn't any suspension at the back, the rear of this bike, but to be honest, that's fine. I'm not going to be taking this thing off many jumps or anything. It's a very comfortable ride, and the saddle's very wide as well, so it does lend itself to a nice kind of relaxed seating position. I will demonstrate the acceleration a bit later after I've gone over the main features, the standout features of this bike, but it's a very punchy acceleration as well, so if you do need to get across the road very quickly, if lights turn green for pedestrians or bikes or whatever, then you can very easily just flip that down. One word of advice is you do need to have some level of pedal assist for this throttle to actually work. If it's on 0, then the throttle does nothing. If it's on 5, then it's going to pull away with a lot of punch to it. Alright, so I'm going to go over some of the features that I think are worth telling you guys about now. So first off, let's just talk about how comfortable or not the handlebars are. So there's no real shape or any kind of palm rest on the handles. They're very cylindrical, but the grip is very grippy, and there is kind of padding in here. It's gel-like kind of rubber. So the handlebars they're good. They're pretty comfortable. Over here is the throttle. So like I said, push that down and you're off. Here's the physical control panel. So you've got this power button here. So I hold this down and you'll see the screen goes on. Very good. Then you've got plus and minus here, and what that does is control your pedal assist. So you can go up to level 5 or back down to 0. Okay, and then there's this little headlamp button which you'll find on all other Aventon bikes. There's this button, but there's no headlight or front light on this bike, so it won't actually do anything there. And actually, as I'm talking about lights, there's no brake lights on the back of the bike either, so you can see here it's very kind of minimal. You have got spaces for reflectors here which you can sort of bolt on, but there's no physical lights, so there's no brake lights. So although you could use this for commuting, there are probably better bikes like the Aventon Solterra, for example, which I've reviewed up there. Also the level 2 from Aventon is a great option, and the Adventure or the Aventure bike from Aventon, which is a much bigger version of this. It doesn't fold, it's got fat tires. There's a review up here if you want to go check that out, but that has lights on it as well. So this one doesn't have lights, and that kind of suggests to me that Aventon is trying to tell us that maybe it's not really for commuting, it's more for kind of trail use and just fun, like zipping around town or whatnot. But if you're commuting, you might get stuck at night and you probably will need lights for your bike. So moving on then, you've got front suspension on the bike. Not a huge amount of travel there, but it feels like there's enough when you're actually riding a bike. So good suspension, very wide forks as well to fit around these 20-inch diameter by 4-inch width fat tires, which are really fun. I haven't actually ridden a bike with such small wheels that are so fat. So it's an interesting ride, but it's quite fun actually. And then coming around here, you'll see this is the actual dial I was talking about before, so you can cycle through this. I'll go into this more on my review on trailandkale.com, which is more in depth. It's kind of got pictures, high resolution photos of the components of this bike, just to show you the actual quality of the bike, because it is very high quality. It's built very nicely. So I want to show you that on the in-depth review on trailandkale.com. So definitely go check that out. On the right handlebar, you can see these are the physical gears. So it's a 7-speed. What I find when I'm riding this bike is a lot of the time I keep it from around 4 to 7. So that's obviously harder to pedal, but it's kind of what you need to be going at a nice speed in this bike, especially when you're not using the pedal assist. When you have pedal assist on, you'll find your cadence is much faster if you don't put that up to around 7 or 6 or something like that. So yeah, that's how I ride it. Looking at the pedals, very cool, because these pedals do actually fold in. So all you do is you push the pedal towards the bike and then flip it down, and then that's actually taking up less space wherever you want to store this bike. I'll do a demonstration of how to actually fold this bike in just a second. It's back again. Whilst I'm down here, here's the kickstand. So I have had a Aventon bike in the past where this kickstand was a little bit too short, and that meant the bike was leaning over too much and a little bit unstable. But someone pointed out in one of my reviews that actually there is an adjustment screw on the back, so all you do is unscrew that and then you can slide this plastic section up and down and then make the kickstand longer or shorter depending on your needs. And then there's the saddle, which is nice and wide. Most people find this very comfortable to sit on, myself included. And of course there's a adjustment, quick release, so you can put that up and down. Like I said, I like to ride these types of bikes with a low saddle so I can just sit back and chill. I'm not going in for any world records or anything whilst I'm riding. I like to keep things chill, have a good time out there. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick demonstration of how to fold this bike up so you guys can see how easy or tricky it is. It's actually very easy. So also when I get around to it, the battery is actually inside here. And that's how you will take the battery out. Okay, so you've got these, come around here, you can see these are the kind of levers that allow you to kind of fold this bike up. All you do is pull this metal knob towards you, and then you've unlocked this first piece. Make sure you've got the stand down for this because it can get a little bit awkward. This is the same with every folding bike I've had. That includes the Rad Power Bike's folding e-bike. So yes, this is kind of awkward, but you can fold it like so. Then once you've kind of folded it a little way, you will need to put the kickstand up so you can get these tyres closer together. And then the final stage, same mechanism around here. You can see on the handlebars, allows you to unhook that. It's a really nice mechanism actually. All holds together. And then you can fold this up. You can also do the same thing on the handlebars. You can quick release that and get this even closer together. The bike's also got this nice metal triangular frame so that when it is resting like this, you're not putting any weight on your chain system. And then to put it back together, fold it up, clip it in. You do have to make sure this clip doesn't get in the way. Clip it back in, kickstand down, and the bike's as it was. The bike is around 68 pounds. So as with a lot of e-bikes, it's quite heavy. But a lot of these bikes are heavy because the battery's heavy and you need these kind of thick, durable frames for these utility bikes. So that's about 1.5 Kepler's weight. If you're not familiar with that metric, that is our dog Kepler. He's 45 pounds, so we weigh things based on Kepler's weight so we know what it's like when we pick them up. All right, now I'm going to show you what it's like to ride. So that's things like the acceleration with the throttle, how quickly it stops, top speed, and the noise levels of the bike. All right, so first off, I'm going to do the acceleration with the throttle. So I've got it on pedal assist 5. That means the throttle will go as quickly as it can go. And I'll show you how fast that is, and when I come back, you'll see my top speed as I go past. All right. So that's a hell of a lot of fun. You can probably tell by my smile on my face, but it's a lot of fun to ride. The acceleration is very quick, it's punchy, so as soon as I hit that button I'm kind of going. I have seen on some Aventon bikes where it has been a little bit slower to take off. So really enjoying the acceleration with the throttle on this bike. As you can see, the stopping is very good as well. I always stop with front and rear brakes just so that I get the fastest possible stopping time and the safest, so I don't go over the front wheel. That wouldn't be good for this video. And noise levels, you will have heard the noise levels from my perspective because the microphone is on me right now. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what it's like for you as the rider, what the noise levels are like. It's no louder than any other e-bike. When I'm riding with a low level assist, it's very quiet, but the acceleration with the throttle, it's kind of just, that's the noise level of an electric motor. So overall, I'm very happy with the noise levels of this bike. It's great, it's fun to ride, fast, punchy, and I couldn't really ask for anything more than a bike that I can just store away when I'm not using it and whip out when I want to go have a little bit of fun. So the Aventon Sinch RRP is actually $1,800. I think it's an expensive price to pay for an electric bike, but I think you kind of get a lot for that price. I think it's worth it. It's a lot of fun, and I love the fact you can fold this bike away when you're not using it. So yeah, 1,800, that's pretty good for this bike. And that's directly comparable to a lot of rad bikes I've reviewed and other Aventon bikes for that matter. And this is a very premium brand, so it's what you'd expect to pay for a bike of this caliber. Well, I really hope you enjoyed watching this Aventon Sinch review. Hopefully it gave you an idea of what the bike's like to ride, some of the cool features on it. And hopefully it helps your buying decision a little bit easier. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like and maybe share it with a friend if you think they'll enjoy it too. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this one.